And then
it looks a little bit askew, doesn't it?
yeah, if you wanna, you can keep it in picture.
I think that's better.
Okay, that's pretty extended. Okay, we're live.
Good.
Is the person already there?
So captions,
Oh, thanks.
so this is YouTube?
Yeah.
Max was saying how he thought we could get captions for YouTube, or there, I guess somebody else is working on Zoom, so.
Well, I knew it would probably be here, so I think it's a good idea in general.
There's talk that maybe there wasn't captions for us on there.
Yeah. That's definitely something we should be thinking about.
Does it show up if we, oh, there's no button? Well, there. I don't know, okay.
Okay.
So that's the microphone.
Here's the thing. It's a good point. I don't know how to tell
Testing, testing, testing.
it. It doesn't quite do it. There is like a little bar there.
Testing, testing. Testing. Testing, testing.
I've seen it in the past, it's just because it doesn't register, it doesn't mean it doesn't like.
Just in case we might be able to use it for captions for computers.
You can see it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, mostly you can see on there. If they remove the seed and eventually get it with, but there's still a heat there.
Zen Temple.
Good morning, Arbor Zen Temple viewers. We are testing the microphone.
Good morning. I see you loud and clear.
Okay, good. I think we're good.
Breathing quiet, sentiment, benevolent. Sitting still in vital silence. Wanting nothing, we practice eco-Buddhism together. The temple bell booms for all to cease from conflict. May the way of Buddha usher in the dawn of non-violent global village. Thunder of silence, light after Dharma rain. Mani Padme, Jvala, Pravartaya.
In Sino-Korean and keeping with our tradition, and then in English.
Queen
Please repeat after me the English version. I go for refuge to the Buddha and resolve with all beings. I will cultivate a heart of enlightenment and realize the great way. I go for refuge to the Dharma and resolve with all beings. I will penetrate the teachings and uncover oceans of wisdom. I go for refuge to the Sangha and resolve with all beings. I will seek peace and happiness for the many and transform this world into awakened lands unimpeded.
into it's unneeded.
Please be seated and turn yourself a little bit in this direction. Our service is going to be a little different today. Auspicious. The sun, just at the beginning of the service, broke through the clouds to shine. A few leaves twirl down. It's almost fall. And all of you have gathered from the 10 directions because it's an auspicious day. Maybe you didn't know. I mean, every day is, but this one is auspicious because we have the recognition ceremony of our new Dharma guardians. So welcome and good morning, everyone.
Good morning,
Good morning, Hajjusinen.
My name is Haju. Maybe you don't know me. I think there's a few new people here. And I'm going to be conducting the little ceremony, but something came up in my mind to share with you first. Can you hear Mike? Not much.
Just barely. If you
Maybe
use
I
the
should-
microphone or talk a little louder.
Testing. Okay. I read a book a few years ago by a about his travels in China. And in one small part, he talked about a very special bell that was rung in one of the temples and could be heard from 17 miles away. That would be really special if you lived a long way away from the temple, yeah? When the temple bell rung, you could hear it. Think of it in Ypsilanti even, or on your place over on Laurel Road, you know? So it was really special for me this morning to actually hear this bell being rung. I haven't been hearing more than anything to hear all of you chanting the refuges. I can't hear people very much, but I guess if I have a crowd of you and you're singing up, so it's pretty wonderful. I mean, I feel kind of tears in my eyes. it's not an unfortunate position to be not hearing. It's actually a whole new adventure for me. But I sure do miss hearing properly. And I'm trying to just let it go. So I'll appreciate everyone's help with this little special ceremony this morning. Okay.
Pocket.
So these are the special certificates, and they're wrapped in a special cloth, which I just found yesterday. It's the tiger cloth. And we usually put it on the altar for very special ceremonies. And I think of this as a tiger ceremony where we are recognizing tigers in the Sangha. And tigers, you know, are special in Buddhism. They represent awakening, as do dragons. So good company, tigers and dragons. So, I have 3 people, and you'll see as we go what the Dharma Guardian program is like as I read to you the certificates. At first, I will ask the Pashu and Ilja and Gabo to come close here. Yeah. Yeah, bring your cushion if you need to. It makes it more comfortable because we're going to be sitting for a few minutes. Altogether, the 3 of these will make 20 Dharma Guardians in our Sangha. So, number 18, Pashu Meadow Jones. Pashu has successfully completed the Dharma Guardian program at the Zen Buddhist Temple here in Ann Arbor, Michigan, in the spirit of the 6 right livelihood guidelines. 1, consume mindfully. 2, pause, breathe, listen. 3, practice gratitude. 4, cultivate compassion and loving kindness. 5, discover wisdom. Aha! 6, accept constant change. That's quite a one these days, and especially for you who lives in 2 places and constantly moves back and forth. Dharma Guardians, Pashu, bring peace and happiness to those in need and embody the Buddhist tradition of wisdom, compassion, and enlightenment. Dharma Guardians become eligible to assist with temple administration and programs, represent the local temple to the wider community. Actually, everywhere we go, we represent the temple. Even to pursue Buddhist chaplaincy or hospice work. And that's just a start. So, Pashu, on this 22nd day of September 2022, I'd like to enthusiastically present to you this Dharma Certificate of Completion. Each of these people, these persons, will give a little talk, so you'll have a chance to hear from them about how this practice of the Dharma Guardian and going through the program has affected their work and home life and their very being. Yeah. We'll have a chance all together to ask questions. And number 19. Godful, Vanessa, Sly, Thoburn. Come a little closer, please, Godful. Godful, Vanessa, Sly, Thoburn has successfully completed the Dharma Guardian program here at the Zen Buddhist Temple in Ann Arbor, Michigan, in the spirit of the Right Livelihood Guidelines. Do you know them by heart?
Yes.
Yes. Could you please recite them aloud to us? Put your mask there. Ask people to memorize things a lot.
Now that you've asked me to, I've forgotten.
We'll get you started. Yeah, we can help you out.
Just hold it to your mouth.
I'm sorry, my mic is on blank. Number one, practice gratitude. Consume mindfully. Number two, pause, breathe, listen. Practice gratitude. Cultivate compassion and loving kindness. Sorry.
Discover wisdom.
Discover wisdom.
Ah.
And number 6, accept constant change.
You got it.
Thank you.
Dharma Guardians bring peace and happiness to those in need. Embody the Buddhist tradition of wisdom, compassion, and enlightenment to the best you can. Dharma Guardians are eligible to assist with administration. This program already. To represent the local temple to wider community. And again, that happens every day. Or to pursue Buddhist chaplaincy, hospice work, or other avenues of service, perhaps in an educational way in your community, as you already are. It is with a lot of gratitude for your efforts and your service, Gabbu, that I award you your Dharma Guardian certificate. Ilja, can you come up? Ilja, Christopher Kral, has successfully completed the Dharma Guardian program at the Zen Buddhist Temple in Ann Arbor, Michigan. In the spirit of the 6 Right Livelihood Guidelines. Did you get them memorized?
I did not, but I had a cheat
You
sheet.
don't know. Well, that's a good start.
I'll need some help.
Let me, number 1,
Consume mindfully.
yes. Number 2,
Breathe. Listen.
these are like everyday life guidelines. You know, they're for all of us, really. Number 3,
Practice gratitude.
yeah. Number 4,
Cultivate compassion and
number 5,
discover wisdom. Aha.
number 6.
Accept constant change.
Yeah. Okay, so keep them memorized, okay? Dharma guardians, your job, bring peace and happiness to those in need. And embody the Buddhist tradition of wisdom, compassion, and light. Dharma guardians are eligible to assist with temple administration and programs. And I know you are beginning to assist also with our Zen Families program. Both of Gakpo and Iljam have children. And so it is, of course, as parents, they wish to raise their children beautifully. And so they like to have good programs. So already there is participation. And also to pursue eventually Buddhist chaplaincy or hospice work or other kinds of education for the community, maybe even the business community. I think you've mentioned that. So it is with pleasure that I award you certificate number 20 or the 20th Dharma Guardian in the Sangha. Congratulations. Okay, so now we will hear from each of our new Dharma Guardians, about 5 minutes or 8 minutes at most. And then we'll have a little chance for some questions. And then the Dharma Guardians are going to lead us in something special, which they don't know about yet. Yay. Okay, so question number 17. What a beautiful number. Can you come and sit here, please, and offer us your little.
Hi, friends. She's good.
What do you want to tell them? Well, I would appreciate your being the most candid and authentic you can be about the training that you have received and how it really relates to your life at home, here, everywhere. But that's hard to do in 5 to 7 minutes. So, but you can. Okay.
So that is hard to answer because it all threads together. The closest I can think about it is a few months ago, I was in a meeting in which someone talked about the stress of the past couple of years. We've all lived through this together. It's been quite stressful. I had particular stresses at my home. My father was in hospice. My mother she has an autoimmune disease that had almost entirely incapacitated her. And my sister's partner, who's mentally ill, was inappropriately arrested and incarcerated. And I would go back and forth between Ann Arbor and caring for my family. And the thing I thought about was, I couldn't tell it at the time, but I think the training kept me steady. I never knew what was going on in the training. I was confused the whole time. Was I a Dharma worker? Was I a Dharma guardian? I just showed up where I was supposed to be. Sometimes I showed up in the wrong spot and then they tell me to go somewhere else. I wasn't sure what was happening, but I just kept doing it. And I think it was the raft that kept me afloat during the turmoil. Many of those things resolved. My father lived through hospice. We found an appropriate treatment for my mother. Regretfully, William is still incarcerated. I finished the Dharma Guardian program. Time kept moving forward. But while I was in the training, it was a touchstone that I think held me steady. Is that good enough?
A little more.
Really? So I would not practice on my own. I wouldn't do this every day. I need all of you to do this. And the program really helped that happen for me. To tell you the truth, I just wouldn't. I've published on meditating with my students, and still I wouldn't do it every day. So this holds me steady. And then in turn, I can be steadier. Is that good?
That's good. Very good.
That's it? All right.
Do we get to ask questions?
Not now.
Okay,
Then we answer.
later.
Oh, 19?
Yeah, that will.
Because we might get too much.
It works. I started the Dharma Guardian program before the pandemic, a year before the pandemic. And, or no, I should say, I started it in the fall of 2019. So my first semester was in the old-fashioned times. My second semester was during the undoing. And we switched from meeting in person once a month to meeting on Zoom. And it was so sad. I almost tear up when I think about it, but to lose that monthly anchor of being with the Sangha, doing the overnights. I still come for early practice when I can, because I really get the most out of being in the presence of other people practicing, much like you had said. However, waking up early and going through the prostrations to wake my body up, and then the sitting to be aware, and then the chanting to regulate my breath and connect with it. And starting the day that way was a really nice way of navigating the beginning of the pandemic. When the next fall came around, I just couldn't bear doing the Dharma Guardian program on Zoom. It was hard for me, so I stopped and would continue to meditate, but not as regularly, and just deeply missing everybody here. But this past January, I restarted and completed my third term, where we were once again meeting doing overnights and having that time together. And although the journaling element of the program was not my personal favorite, I would take notes during the Friday night meetings and the Saturday morning meetings on that monthly overnight that we would do. And those notes I reflect on and go back to and revisit all the time. I keep it on my desk. If I find myself feeling distracted, I go back to those pages and remember what we talked about and think a little bit more on some of the ideas and remember the people that shared those ideas and the strength of those relationships. And I just really appreciated it. So I think the strength of the Dharma Guardian program for me was the time spent and the depth of the quality of the interactions and the time that we all spent together. And I'm so glad that I got to finish it, that I got to rejoin and be back with you guys. Is that sounds good? Is that enough?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Few notes. And so there we go. I wanted to maybe preface them by reflecting on my introduction to the temple. There might be some new folks here, and how I got involved in Dharma Gardens. We had moved here with our kids and showed up. I think it was one of the family services, and kind of looked around and said, wow, this is a pretty cool community. So we started coming as often as we could. And then we learned about the programs. I did a meditation class with Heidi. And from there, learned about kind of the Dharma Guardians. And my partner said, oh, this could be a good idea. I said, it could be. And before I knew it, I had signed up. Unlike Goggle, my experience and entry into this was entirely during the pandemic. So I knew nothing other than by kind of studying and practicing on my own during Zoom. So when restrictions were lifted and we had the opportunity to come back here, it was a completely different experience, and being able to do this in person. And I would definitely agree, much easier. And, how do I say it? Much more enlivening. I had much greater appreciation for being together, this togetherness. Even though I knew many people in good depth with these great both kind of cerebral, intellectual, and personal conversations during our time on Zoom. So I broke my thoughts and reflections and learnings into kind of 3 different parts. One is introspection and intensity. So in going through the Dharma Guardians program, I kind of rediscovered the aspects of myself that I had forgotten, whether it's being a father and all the craziness with children, or having to manage work during the pandemic, or everything in between. But having that time to reflect on ideas that I might have raised through the kind of curriculum program, and just reestablishing some time to sit and to be quiet, even though it might have involved waking up when it's dark and sneaking away. before everyone woke up, that providing myself and being able to have that kind of structure was a big part of the reviving that introspection and the intensity, being able to do it on a regular basis and with focus. And part of that was also coming again to realize that beginning to understand yet again, knowing what I don't know. So a bit of humble. The second is Sangha and friends. So as I said before, meeting new people, being able to practice, whether virtual or now in person, online, was a really good support and encouragement for my practice. And then also to see where other people were coming from their life experiences and their thoughts, and to say like all of this and all these different experiences is Buddhism. It's Buddhism. It's the practice of Buddhism, and that was really special, and I really appreciate it. And then finally, the ritual and tradition. So kind of diving into some of the texts and the history and the context behind it, learning from great teachers and asking questions. And sometimes those questions were directly answered. Sometimes you're like, you got to go figure it out. It's like, oh, I guess that's part of Buddhism too. And then having some guidance on the practice of Zen Buddhism and Korean tradition, and being able to learn, understand that more, and then to be able to come here and continue that practice was kind of the third that I learned and appreciated through the program. So thank you.
So Pashu and Gakpo, can you just join on at the front? So I'm going to start with the first question to you, and each of you to answer it. Generally, what I heard or what I read was that you're quite general. Would you please give a specific example of some insight or learning you had and tell the story of it a little bit? Starting with Gakpo and coming across to Pashu.
There were a lot of learnings related to texts, historical texts, and contemporary thought-provoking articles that we read and then discussed together. But I think it was one of the mornings, one of the Saturday mornings, and I was in here with Tansong, and there were, Haju was doing interviews and there were a few people waiting, and I was doing morning Yable, which is the longer version of the 3 refuges that we chatted earlier. And it was Tongsang's first time in her new program, which is the seminary program. And she was learning how to do the chant with the Moktok, and Maun was guiding her. And being there and learning alongside them, and when there was a mistake, there was a gentle correction and a redo. And just being in the presence of others learning, and I mean, that's how I learn best, is through like physical experience. And honestly, when you ask of a specific example. That's the thing that comes to the forefront of my mind. And because I was also working on memorizing Yable, I had recorded it on my phone. And so now I have this recording of Maun directing Tongsan and myself and how to do Yable, and her gentle corrections and the redos and the initial mistake and the correction. And, you know, for a while I was doing that, I was playing that while I would practice at home, and I'd let go of having to listen to it because I can do it on my own. But it was just such a great experience to be with Maun and Tongsan, whom I have so much respect for, and to learn with them and to be guided by them. So I think that's my answer.
How'd you way to put us on the spot here? So in reflecting on that question, as I said, a lot of my initial experiences was during the pandemic was remote, was on my own. And so part of the guidance was to create a space to be able to think and study and practice and sit. So fortunately, we had this shed that's not part of the house, and I created the altar, and I have my cushion and put a mat down to make it feel more comfortable, and a small table, and some gifts and images of the Buddha that were presented, and put them all collectively together. And the lesson here for me is focus and discipline. So in beginning the practice, it's like these prostrations, like, why do I have to do these? and I learned that that's not uncommon, especially in starting out. But I would do them, I would count them, and I would play around with them, and maybe put a timer on it instead of counting them, do it for a certain amount of time, and then eventually come into a rhythm of how to do them, and at what pace and frequency that worked for me. And then I understood by doing them that it helped to quiet my mind in sitting, and the meditation became a little bit better. And then in the reflection or journaling was a little bit more clear, maybe not always. But for me, it was the practice and focus of not every day, I would miss some, but trying to wake up early and setting that alarm, sneaking out of the house to go to this little cottage to practice and meditate. And after a while, and you may remember this one journal entry, I come to notice that when I practice, part of the sitting meditation for me and my practice is like just a little bit of incense to provide kind of a key of this is a time and a place for me where I'm going to sit and practice. And after a while, I'd look and weekly or every so often would clean up the altar and the space and make it neat and tidy. I said, wow, there's quite a few matchsticks there. And I didn't count them, but it occurred to me that, yeah, through the focus and discipline, I had been doing this for some time. And with that, those things became easier. So I understood the prostration, and I understood a little bit more about how to sit and how to correct that monkey mind. And by no means there at any type of perfection, but at least I'm on the path. And I think for me, that was part of the program of being able to provide that support and direction, but also the impetus for personal discipline to be able to do that, to sit and practice.
I thought I was very specific.
So you were pretty specific.
But I can get more detailed.
Yeah, it's where a little lesson was learned. What you did more was describe your overall circumstances specifically, but not any sort of aha moment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I can't separate these, they're all threaded together. The training with my commitment to the temple, which includes living here to support it in part, and what I learned during that time. It's all woven. But I'll give you an aha moment for me, which is I really didn't know anything about Buddhism, even though I practiced meditation. And when I showed up, I had no idea what was going on. I moved here to be in my postdoc. Why are we chanting in Korean? What are prostrations? What is that song they're singing to wake me up so early in the morning? My goodness. No idea. And one of the things I realized over time was that I was learning the whole time, assimilating information. One of the most important moments for me is one that I think you all know. I don't remember why I was reading it. It was in one of the books assigned, probably. But it's the story of the Buddha's moment of enlightenment. So I have trouble feeling like I belong. So that I don't feel alone, can you raise your hand if you also have that problem? Thank you. There were hands. So I often feel like I don't belong, or I'm an outsider, or I belong here and not there. I don't even know that I belong to my own self sometimes. It's got its advantages, but it can feel lonely. And so there's this moment in which the Buddha has reached his moment of enlightenment. And I might get it wrong, and I apologize. But Mara has come and said, challenged the Buddha. And given Mara's list of reasons why Mara is a supernatural being, like all of these things bound me, and I've got all these powers. And you, Buddha, what do you have? What do you have to speak for you? Who, you know that question, like, you don't belong here. That's how I hear it. You don't belong. What makes you think you belong? The Buddha touches the earth with cry and suggests that just by the very fact that he's there, that the earth will speak for him. That just being right there, he belonged. And so that is something I try to carry with me. I'm here. I've earned my seat. Here I am. Here you all are. You have earned your spot. You belong here. We belong with each other. And then I painted a picture of that. and I thought about it a lot. So that was my moment, my aha.
Friends, any questions?
Sagam.
In the Dharma Guardian program, in the Dharma Guardian, study. So I'm interested in each of you perhaps saying what one of the presentations that you gave was especially meaningful or a favorite, and maybe just the seed understanding from that presentation. Could you just summarize the question for me?
Sure. So in the Dharma Guardians program, every semester we give a presentation, and the question was, choose one of the presentations and just describe a little bit what it was about and what you got out of it or why it was meaningful. Is that correct?
Okay. So this is a really good question, but we only have 5 minutes for the three of you to answer it. So it's called Answering in a Nutshell.
So
This is to respect the time because other people have things they have to do, and it would be good to finish so they just don't walk out.
very briefly, one of my So I really appreciated kind of learning again Buddhism in context historically. For me, one of the presentations was understanding Buddha as a parent or a father figure and his son, particularly because I have two sons that are quite rambunctious and who I want to try to impart the practice and wisdom. And just the opportunity to delve into that a little bit more and understand one approach and what that meant in that historical context and what that father, the Buddha, had given to his son, and reflecting on what I can do now in this modern context and how I can do that.
So my first term in the Dharma Guardian program, I was to give a presentation on Buddha's enlightenment, and to wrap my head around it, I decided to study 3 different texts and compare them. One of them was Old Path White Clouds by Thich Nhat Hanh. The other was the historical Buddha, which tried to be as historically accurate in location and context. And then the third was some writings by Ray Moore, who's a writer and storyteller. And it was really interesting. In hindsight, I picked 3 really great, very different approaches to examining that period. And from one, I got a lot of historical context. From another, I got a beautiful telling of the story from the experience of the Buddha. And from another, I got the telling of the story in a way that has been heard. So it was really interesting to compare the 3 of them and to get all of those different takes on the same experience.
Okay, in a nutshell. So I remember 2 of them right now, Angulimala, and you guys probably remember that because we did do a Dharma talk on it. So we got that, murderer, convert, it's great, good story. But the one that really struck me was, I talked about teacher-student relations based upon some primary training texts that we had. And this is what I learned. Humility is hard. Remaining teachable is a struggle. And if I want to transform from the inside out, I'm gonna have to keep doing it over and over again and trust my teacher.
I think we could go on and on. Thank you, all 3, not just for being here and talking, but also for going through the program. Now I have something for you to do together for all of us.
Do you want this back?
Where's God? I have to find my notes. So one of the most beautiful texts, I think, in our tradition that our teacher, Venerable Samu Sunim, wrote is the Dharma Guardian prayer. It's very kind of uplifting. So I have marked this into 3 sections. You can start Pashu, you can continue Ilja, and you can finish Gakko. And what he will do is, I salute and pay homage, and so then everybody will repeat after. So you're going to lead us, and I'm not going to use the captions or anything, so I can hear everybody doing the Dharma Guardian prayer. A little bit selfish, but no, it's really kind of a beautiful prayer for us to do together. Okay, so please come up, stand here together, and look at it a little bit, because It needs to be. Oh, like an oration.
Dharma Guardian Prayer.
Dharma.
I salute and pay homage to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas.
You're giving them too much.
Really?
Break it up.
Okay. I salute and pay homage
I salute and pay
to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas
to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas
in the 10 directions and 3 worlds.
in the 10 directions and 3 worlds.
With my true and sincere heart,
With true and sincere,
I agree to follow in the footsteps of their wisdom, compassion, and enlightenment for all.
and
May I remain
may
in my resolve
in
for the way of the Bodhisattva and rejoice in humility
and rejoice in humility
and gratitude
to
for the realization
for the realization
that I am endowed with Buddhahood.
that
I beseech my teachers
beseech the teachers
to admonish me with guidance when I go astray,
to assist me with guidance
and to never forsake me. I pray that all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas protect me when I slip in my devotion to peace and love,
in my devotion to peace
and encourage me when
and me
courage and vital spirit.
spirit.
Allow me the Dharma power and wisdom I for the alleviation of suffering
For the alleviation
and emancipation of the afflicted
and emancipation
and conflicted.
and conflicted.
Let peace and justice prevail
Let peace and justice
over hatred and violence.
hatred
Let it be a mountain.
be
Be a mountain.
be
Let it be a river.
be
Be a river.
be
Maha Prajna Paramita.
be
Maha Prajna Paramita. Namo Maha Prajna Paramita.
Bodhisvaha. Okay. As I did when Maru became the director of the temple, I would like to share with the 3 of you and all of you the water course way, which is something that we can all embody in our lives, and especially as Dharma guardians, formally, informally. Water always flows. Number 1, water always flows. Let's put your hands together in Hapshang of sincere heart. Fully present. Number 1, water always flows low and down. From this, we learn humility. Number 2, water does not refuse dirty or soiled water. From this, we learn inclusivity and magnanimity. 3, when faced with obstacles, water takes a winding course and meanders to overcome impediments. From this, we learn wisdom. 4, water adapts itself to any situation and fits into any size container. From this, we learn adaptability and flexibility. 5, water is patient and endures as raindrops dripping from the eaves and digging holes into stone. From this, we learn perseverance. 6, water is not afraid of throwing itself over a cliff to make a cascading waterfall. From this, we learn grit and courage. 7, water travels ceaselessly to reach the ocean, where it becomes one with the ocean. The way of Buddha in ocean samadhi. Announcements, please.
Okay, welcome everybody. Congratulations to Kashu and Ilja and Gakul. I am honored to have been in the Dharma Guardian program with you guys at the same time, and I'm glad that we can continue to learn from each other and practice together. And Gakul and I started the Dharma Guardian program on the same day. And then on the second day, we were in the kitchen and we had a few minutes to talk, and we're both like, were you as clueless as I was yesterday? Yes. Okay, good. So if you guys have any questions, we're happy to try to answer your questions after the service. You can talk to any of us wearing the gray. Sign up to receive our weekly email bulletin. If you don't already receive it, there's a sign-up sheet on the table in the entrance hall. Here at the temple, we periodically offer introductory meditation courses and yoga classes. And the introductory meditation courses run on 5 consecutive Thursday evenings. The yoga classes run on 6 consecutive Tuesday evenings. Both of those will begin again in October. A new round of those will begin. And there's a flyer for the entire temple schedule that shows the start dates for those. We're having a special memorial service for our founder, Samu Sunim, who passed away last month. And so there will be a live stream this Saturday, September 24th, because the service will be held in Toronto. But we'll have a live stream from 2 to 4 p.m. on Saturday. And the link is https://a2zen YouTube. So please join us for that. Everyone is invited to attend. The fall practice period is coming up a month from now. During the practice period, each participant commits to a regular at-home practice that they choose. And then during the same time, we'll be studying the short book, Buddhism Plain and Simple, by Steve Hagen, who's a Zen priest in Minneapolis. And this book examines the original insights of Buddhism, free from any cultural accumulations or rituals or iconography. It focuses on direct experience and awareness of the present moment. And so there's a sign-up sheet on the table if you're interested in that. And that will begin on October 16th, and it will meet right after the service, the Sunday morning service, for about an hour for 8 weeks, except for Thanksgiving weekend. Let's see. The temple is supported entirely by your kind donations of time and money. There's a fishbowl for monetary donations. If you'd like to volunteer your time, there are many opportunities to do that, such as being a greeter or helping to work in the garden. We have a regular work practice on Saturdays from 3 to 5 p.m. in the garden. And I believe we're going to be practicing for 15 minutes outside after the service today. So if anyone's interested in staying for another 15 minutes, we can do some work outdoors. Thank you. Oh, and Michael, yes.
Recovery Dharma noon next door. And this week, sorry, no bags.
There's a few.
Oh, there's a few. Somebody found some tomatoes and there's some chili peppers, not the super hots, cayenne, serrano, and a few,
Jalapeno.
no, yeah, jalapeno, thank you. I was confusing it with habanero.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Also, some of you may be wondering where Maureen is, and she is at our farm this past week. She'll be back this afternoon at 4. She's had a little change of pace and break from Temple Life there. There's a schedule there and practice going on just like here. So she'll be back very soon. What else? Oh, I'm going to start to lead us out after our 3 vows. Then could the 3 of you come out and just stand? And everybody please introduce yourself to these folks so they can start to get to know you.
I would also like to take a picture of the 3 of you.
We'll get our pictures taken. And then if you are interested to help, just meet by the pond. That's where we're going to have 15 minutes of work practice, starting probably in about 10 minutes, so you have a chance to mingle. Okay, so please stand. Bring our hands together in Hapchang. Maybe today, this morning, in Hapchang of open heart. So there's a little bit of openness. Open heart means everything can get included. Yeah. And then make 3 vows.
Take all the way except for 2 times. Back to the corner. Thanks for, okay, I think we need to share. Okay. Here's the back row. Yeah. Appreciate the.
And later it starts again in October. Okay, but it is going. Doesn't take me too long to get here. No, it's not too bad.
Over there, so get more flowers.
Glad to hear that.